All right, let's get started, guys. Let's get started. Welcome back to our fifth installment of our free webinar series presented to you by Alpha Sales Systems. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023, and the second to last day of the month. And we're going to get started right now. Once again, welcome and thank you for being here. We're continuing to grow our community together and building our wolf pack, which is super exciting for me. Every single week, we get more and more salespeople, managers, and dealer representation on these webinars because in such a short period of time, we really strive to pack a lot of content into this knowledge that leads to confidence and increasing our ability to execute our sales game and make all the money while doing so. And I'm super excited to continue this journey together as we continue to go through these free webinar series and then all of the other products that we're going to be bringing to you, shortly. Little housekeeping, Q&A, type your questions in the chat. I promise to get back to you. My email is also in the chat. I've typed it before. I'm going to type it right now for you as well. So if you have any questions for me whatsoever, you can reach out to me at any time. Most of you have my cell phone number. Obviously, you can reach me there or via email at any time during the week. Shoot me a question. I promise to answer. We're going to do free one-on-one trainings again. We've had great success with this. I have a bunch of people signing up for these one-on-one Zoom trainings. I love them. They're interactive. We can role play. Anytime you want to sign up, feel free to do so. We're going to give 5 free ones away today. Again, Charles, if you could drop the link in the chat for the free training sign up, please do that. Charles is going to drop the link. The first 5 to fill it out, I will give you a free one-on-one sales training, and we'll schedule and do that on Zoom so we can spend a little bit more time one-on-one and really go over the things that you want to focus on as a sales representative. And we have an exclusive offer at the end, as always, that I'm excited to talk about. Today's agenda, guys, we're going to talk about the most important technique in sales, the most important technique in sales. If you worked with me before, you know I stand by this. I believe this in my core. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over some tried and true word tracks. You can never get enough of those. You got to have the tools. You got to be able to reach into the toolbox. Sometimes it takes multiple word tracks when trying to close a deal. I feel like it does. I mean, every once in a while we get a knockout punch, but it's usually jab, 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 hit. So you really got to have a bunch of word tracks. And we're going to go over one of my favorite sales books, Convince Them in 90 Seconds. Convince Them in 90 Seconds. Assumptiveness. The most important technique in all of sales. Assumptiveness. So coming from a place of assumption. Sales is a transference of energy, right? Human interaction is a transference of energy. And I think sometimes we make it more complicated than it really needs to be. All sales is just 2 people having a conversation. That's all it should be. So if you're feeling stressed when you're in there with a customer, take a deep breath, relax a little bit. It's just 2 people having a conversation, especially in our business. It's not door to door. You didn't go into their house. They came into your house. Relax. Just 2 people having a conversation. If I feel like my interaction with my customer is getting a little too tense, I'll tell them, listen, John, let's just take a step back and relax a little. Let's have a conversation. I'll lean back in my chair, right? Lean back in my chair. Hopefully they match and mirror my energy and it relaxes them a little bit. Let's just have a conversation. Hey, there's a problem here that I think we're both looking to solve together, right? I'm shaking my head up and down, getting them to agree, right? Assumptiveness. Let's just sit back and see if we can do it. If we can't, we'll part as friends. It's just 2 people having a conversation. But that transference of energy, guys, in sales, that transference of energy, the most important energy that you can transfer is certainty. Certainty, because if you're not certain, how can your customers ever be certain in following your lead? If they don't feel like you're confident, how could they be confident? Sometimes we got to fake it until we make it. Sometimes, a lot of times, even if we don't feel like we got a deal in our hands, we got to act as if. We got to act as if because people want to be led. People want to be led. Sales is the ability to nudge without pushing. Yeah, and there's a fine balance there. That's where the art form really comes in. And that comes from practice. That comes from training. Being able to know when to push and when to pull. So people want to be led. They want to be led. One of my favorite quotes, I've said it before, that when your mind can't see the steps, your heart will ask to pause. When your mind can't see the steps, your heart will ask to pause. I said it this week probably 1,000 times. If you're in the dealership with me, you go into the gym, you don't have a workout regimen, you don't have your plan written down, how many sets of 10, how many exercises, how much cardio you're going to do. You just wing it. The first time your heart asks to pause, you're going to quit, right? Motivation's not going to be there the entire workout session, but you got to lean into the game plan. So assumptiveness, acting as if. You don't ask, you assume. You assume that your customer's there in a perfect world to leave with a new vehicle. Yes, they may be saying they're just shopping, but we all know that's defense mechanism. That's them playing their inherent role in the process, right? So don't take it to heart. Act as if, come from a place of assumptiveness, be confident, be certain, and transfer that confidence and certainty to your customer. Guys, it takes courage. It takes, you got to fake it till you make it sometimes. You may be not feeling it, right? You may feel like you're coming from a place of weakness. You may feel desperate for a deal, but if you act desperate, then chances are you're never going to have control over your customer. You got to stand up tall, or as tall as you can in my case, right? And act as if. So some assumptiveness techniques. Here's some word tracks, guys. The replay of this webinar will be on YouTube on Monday, so feel free to review it as well. But some assumptive techniques. This is the ownership close. The ownership close is tried and true, right? Tried and true. So I would say, John, after you leave in your new car today, they're going to be emailing you a customer satisfaction survey. What would be the best email to reach you? After you leave in your new car today, they're going to be emailing you a customer service satisfaction survey. What would be the best email to reach you? I like to do this on the guest sheet, guys. A little bit of a test close, a little bit of a trial close, taking John's temperature. John may say, well, I don't plan on leaving with anything today. I'm just looking around, which if you test closed him on the lot, I would say, John, totally get it. But I know when we were walking inside, you had said that if the numbers made sense, you would want to leave with the vehicle today. Did something change, between now and then? It's funny. Young Josh, if you're on the webinar, you obviously remember this. I had a customer Wednesday, commitment to do business today, said if the numbers made sense, he's leaving with the car, all of that, numbers made sense, backtracked. And then I said to him, I believe his name was Mike. I said, Mike, in all due respect, in all fairness, I want to make sure that I'm crossing every T and dotting every I. You had said that if the numbers made sense, you wanted to leave with the vehicle today, correct? And I feel like the numbers do make sense. So what's holding you up? And he actually got upset by that. He said, hey, don't use my words against me. That's not what you should do with a customer. Sorry, Mike, I'm going to do it 100% of the time because I got to find out if I missed something. So if I upset one customer out of every 100, but I close more deals, I'm going to do it. I'm going to call them out on it. If you lied to me, I want to find out what's going on. It's not your fault that you're lying. I'm not saying it's your fault, Mr. Customer, right? And I'm not going to call them a liar, but there's some unspoken objection. That's my job to figure out what that is. So on the guest sheet, guys, to circle back, on the guest sheet, right? On the guest sheet, even you could do it in the showroom. You could do it when walking. There's times and places for this, but if an opportunity presents itself, what I'm going to say is if an opportunity presents itself, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. You'll see it. You don't have to be seated to do this. You don't have to be on the guest sheet, but if it somehow organically comes up, you could say after you leave your new car today, they will be emailing you a customer satisfaction survey. What would be the best email to reach you? Take their temperature. If they go along with it, my email would be this. Okay. I have somebody committed today. The registration close. I love this. And the guys that work with me day to day know that I love this. I love this. If you're a floor manager, I love this at the check-in desk, guys. I love it at the check-in desk. I love it if you're doing your guest sheet as a salesperson. I love it. So registration close. I would say to the customer as I'm checking them in, all right, John, just so I can complete your profile, date of registration and ownership, would that be today? Date of registration and ownership, would that be today? If there's a little awkwardness, like they don't know what that means, I'll back it up by saying, so like today, would you be leaving with the car? Would it be this week, this month? Just trying to get a feel for the date of registration and ownership, right? Or just so I can complete your profile, date of registration and ownership. Would that be today that we're going to be registering the vehicle, right? Assumptiveness. You can use that on the guest sheet, right? So when you're on your guest sheet and you're identifying who the registered owners are going to be, you could say, okay, great, John, you're going to be the only registered owner and date of registration of your new car. We're going to make that today. And I'm shaking my head up and down. Assumptiveness, right? Good way to find out if they're committed to do business today. Love it at the check-in desk as well. When you say stuff like, just so I can complete your profile, right? It sounds like it's protocol, right? And so what happens is when you're qualifying a customer, either through the check-in process, qualifying them through a guest sheet or a worksheet or an upsheet, the customer feels as if this is part of the process. And in order to continue to the next step, they have to give you this information. So that's a great time to extract data without feeling that uncomfortability, right? Act as if, be confident. Don't act timid. Don't act shady. Like, uh-oh, I'm about to ask them some information that they're going to think I'm going to use against them. They could smell the guilt and sliminess coming off you. Just be confident. Yeah, I want to find out. Is date of registered ownership going to be today, right? Date of registration and ownership going to be today? I want to find out for sure. And if you ask them directly, you're going to get direct answers. If you ask them kind of tippy-toeing around, they may tippy-toe around with you. So this is a standard test close guide, but I add a little assumptiveness to it, a little assumption. Standard test close, right? If the numbers fit your budget, you're planning on going home today in your new car, right? If the numbers fit your budget, you're planning on going home today in your new car, right? Today. Emphasis on today, right? If you say it like this, it sounds a little more, I don't know, a little suspicious. So if the numbers fit your budget, you're planning on going home today in your new car, right? Today in your new car, like you sound a little bit more suspicious. I want to emphasize today. If the numbers fit your budget, you're planning on going home today in your new car, right? Today. Emphasis on today. And once again, ask them direct questions, get direct answers. That could be on the lot, walking towards the dealership. That could be on the guest sheet. Whenever you have an opportunity, I don't think there's anything wrong with finding out if you have somebody who's committed to do a deal today or not. And if you do get stuck in that where they start to kind of fight back with you, oh, what is it? No, I just want to kind of get a feel for exactly what steps of the process we're looking to accomplish today so I can best serve your needs, right? So I can best serve your needs. I want to know exactly what our goals are today to make sure that I can accomplish all of them with you. And that's honest stuff, guys. That's honest stuff. That'll help you too. It'll help you get out of your own head. It'll help you get out of your own head, because if you start throwing around in your mind, it's funny. We talked about this week. A lot of times, guys, we're on the lot and we have a customer that maybe we overheard at the check-in desk say they weren't buying today, or they were just looking, it's their first day out, or they say that to us on the lot, and we get in our own head, right? We don't want to waste our time. And I use the analogy, if you're on like a dating app, right? You're on a Hinge or a Tinder or a Bumble, whatever it may be, and somebody asks you, so what brings you to Tinder? What brings you to Hinge? What are you looking for, right? What they're saying is, if they're looking for a relationship, a long-term relationship, they don't want to waste their time. But unless you become friends with somebody first, can you really have a relationship? Unless you build rapport with your customer, build value in the product, and really nail each step of the process, could you ever turn a shopper into a buyer? They got to look first. Well, I'm just here to test drive. Okay. They got to test drive before they buy. They don't buy and then test drive. Well, hopefully not, right? We're supposed to test drive first. So just stay calm, just stay cool, stay collected. But you can ask them straight up, hey, if the numbers made sense, you were looking to leave today in your new car, right? Ask them straight up. An oldie but goodie. Pull your car into the sold lane. So you're finishing up the test drive. All right, John, do me a favor. Why don't you pull your car right over to the sold lane here so nobody else can take a peek at it? Pull your vehicle right over to the sold lane here. Why don't we pull your new car into the sold lane over here so nobody else can take a look at it? Another little test close coming from a place of assumptiveness. Your new car, right? Your new car into the sold lane. That's where the sold vehicles go, right? So oldie but goodie. If you've been in the business for a while, you know this one. But hey, sometimes we forget to do it. A lot of times, we got a lot going on in our mind. We're stressed when we're going through the sales process with our customers. It's important to remember all these tried and true word tracks. So why don't we pull your new car, John, your new car into the sold lane technique. I like this one too, guys. I like this one on the guest sheet. This is the insurance assumption. Now, some of you may be saying, well, this is basic stuff. Okay, it's basic stuff. Do you do it every time? We got to do this stuff 100% of the time. So when I'm doing the guest sheet, I always look for opportunities on the guest sheet when I'm on the lot, and no matter where I'm at, to just plant these little seeds of assumptiveness that I can water throughout the process and turn this customer into a buying customer. So I'll say to them, hey, John, so after we make the numbers fit your budget, then I'll actually call and switch your insurance over to your new car for you so you don't have to worry about it. So, John, after we make the numbers work, I'm going to call your insurance company for you so you don't have to worry about doing that. And I'm going to add the new car to your policy. Just test closing a little bit. Guys, a lot of times in sales, there's certain things that we're always going to do. So it could be cleaning up the vehicle for the customer when they're about to take delivery. It could be a full tank of gas. It could be the warranty. It could be anything that your particular store offers all of your customers. To you, it's just common practice. You do it with every customer, but you always want to present things in such a light that it's exclusive to that customer. So just even little things. Of course, you're going to call and transfer the insurance, but in their mind, they may feel like they have to do it. You just shed things in such a light that you're just giving extra, even if it's stuff you always do, by doing the insurance assumption close, right? Insurance assumption close, once again, just taking their temperature as to how committed they are to buying today. Actually, one time I did pull off. I only tried it once for some reason. I don't know why. I think it was towards the end of my sales career on the floor. I did switch the insurance even before presenting the pencil. So I did actually say, why don't we switch the insurance now just to make sure we get that out of the way? Then we'll go over the numbers and make sure we lock them in for you to fit within your budget. I don't recommend doing that, but hey, if you're an expert or you're a little bit more advanced, it is fun to take a shot once in a while. But insurance assumption close, guys. Peace of mind. Can we put a price tag on it? Can we put a price tag on peace of mind? What's it worth? I don't know. It depends. It depends on the customer. It depends on how much value you're building in it, right? This is great for a new car. This is great for a customer who's dealing with service ag, right? This is great just to give them that peace of mind that comes along with the product they're leaving with, which can you really quantify it? Can you put a price tag on it? So I may say, when you leave today in your new car, you won't have to worry about the uncertainty with dealing with any potential service repairs to your car. You'll be protected with a full warranty, and you'll once again have the peace of mind that I know is so important to you. The peace of mind that I know is so important to you. Even if they didn't say that, come acting as if, and they're going to follow peace of mind is important to me. Or, I guess peace of mind should be important to me. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it would be nice not to have to worry about the car starting when it's snowing out there and I got to bring the kids to school, then I got to get to work. It would be nice. And can you put a price tag on it, right? So after you leave with your new car today, you're not going to have to worry about fixing the vehicle and spending all that money in service and the uncertainty of how much the repairs are going to be. You're going to have a budget. You're going to stick to that budget. You're going to be protected with a full warranty. And most importantly, you're going to have that peace of mind that I know is so important to you. Peace of mind, guys. All right, convince them in 90 seconds. We're going through a lot of stuff right now, guys, so I'm trying to pack it into a short period of time. One of my favorite books, Convince Them in 90 Seconds. Before we get into some of the excerpts from the book, and I got a few for you, just know that the 7-Eleven rule is a real thing. They didn't go over this in this book, but it is something we spoke about on some of the videos on our YouTube channel and Instagram. And guys, Charles, if you could drop the link in the chat to our YouTube channel. Guys, make sure you subscribe. We're posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday full videos, and every day we're posting YouTube shorts, all car sales training and generic sales training as well. So if you're in any other sector, it will be useful to you. And on Instagram, Charles, please drop that link as well. Instagram, every single day we're posting, guys, free sales training every single day that I bring to you. So make sure you follow. Hey, there may be a day that you watch a video and you can use it that very day, and it helps make a car deal. But the 7-Eleven rule, in the first 7 seconds that you interact with your customer or any person, we do this too, subconsciously, we're making 11 assumptions about the other person, from their economic status, their educational status, their political status. We're sizing them up subconsciously. As we evolve as a species and as society becomes faster and faster and so much more information is being thrown at us, we actually added to this. Back in the wild, I mean, you're not worried about somebody's political status, right? We're worried about, are they going to kill us or are they our ally, right? So we're adding to how many things that we're making judgment calls, on people based on in a very short period of time. So just know that. And a lot of what we do here is based on our packaging as a salesperson, how we present ourselves within that first 7 seconds. Aristotle, great philosopher, said that for persuasion to be truly effective, 3 elements must be present: trust, logic, and emotion. Trust, logic, and emotion. So for persuasion to really be effective, they got to trust you. You got to present logic to them. You have to get their emotions involved, right? So think about the customers that you deal with. How can I get them to trust me quicker, right? I can look them in the eye, right? I can appear to be confident. I can appear to be non-threatening. Body language, disposition, smile, right? Okay, I can get them to trust me. Get them to trust me. I don't feel like a slippery snake oil salesperson. I can provide logic. I can make it make sense through a number of ways, right? The Ben Franklin close, right? Going over the pros and cons of leaving with a new car versus taking home their old one. I can go over the numbers, the bang for their buck, right? Okay, wait, so I know we discussed the trade-in value, John, and you know your vehicle's worth around $5,000, but you're paying $400 per month, but we're going to be looking at a $20,000 vehicle, and you're only going up to $550 per month. So for 4 times the vehicle value, you're going up, what, $5 a day, right? Make it make sense. Create logic and emotion. You got to get their emotions involved. Trust always has to come first, though, guys. Trust always has to come first, because I was talking to my sister about this yesterday. I was doing an impromptu, sales training for my sister, which she didn't ask for. I just kind of, got started and couldn't stop. And I told her that, your personality will build rapport. We spoke about this before, right? So, your instincts will build trust. Instincts build trust, but personality builds rapport. But something could work against you if they don't trust you, but they see you have charisma. Now they're wondering, okay, is this a slippery snake oil salesman that's trying to pull the wool over my eyes, right? So you got to get them to trust you first before you can use your charisma and your salesmanship to work for you and not against you. You got to get trust first. Because you may be a smooth operator, but they may have seen someone like you before, but wasn't trustworthy, and it brings back a bad experience. They have a euphoric recall in a negative sense. Trust has to come first, but I feel like there always has to be undertones of emotion. If their emotions are involved in the process, the logic, I think, becomes much easier, because what happens is confirmation bias is created. If they feel emotionally invested in the process and in you and in their trust in you, they'll look at the numbers through a different set of lenses. They'll look at them and say, okay, they'll start justifying why they should buy the car and creating their own logic to confirm the biases they have about you and the experience you're offering them. They want to be right. People want to be right about the release, particularly our instincts, right? We don't know our instincts are good. If their instincts are right about you, they want to confirm that by themselves. The logic becomes easier when they trust you and their emotions are involved. Sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes it just makes too much sense, right? It's just too much sense. They spent $4,000 in the last month and a half in service. They're tired of doing it. They need a new car. Their lease is up in a month and a half. They got to get something else. The baby's on the way. They need an extra row, whatever it may be. Sometimes the logic just speaks for itself. But hey, it never hurts for them to trust you. That's a prerequisite in my book. And getting their emotions involved gets everything, just to go so much smoother for you. Guys, the number one trait that people unconsciously admire in others, they're drawn to individuals that are healthy and vitality, right? That have a sense of living and life in them. We want to be around people who put energy in the room, that don't suck it out. Put energy in the room, fill energy into the room. The number one trait that people are drawn to unconsciously is health and vitality. And people seek out others that will help encourage their growth, right? From your coworkers, people that you work with. You want people to raise you up in this world, not bring you down. And when I say encourage your growth from a salesperson to customer standpoint, customers want salespeople that will help them grow throughout the sale process, help them grow throughout their experience, for when they crack that door coming into the dealership, that they're better off than they were when they came in, when they leave. So these are all subconscious things. And I think, guys, I really think the health and vitality thing's a big deal. I'm not saying everyone's got to be, The Rock or Richard Simmons for some of my seasoned vets. You don't have to be, the epitome of health and wellness and fitness, but there's a subconscious evolutionary, I think, survival twist that goes along with this. When we see people from a survival standpoint that are healthy and vital, subconsciously we say, okay, they're figuring out this living thing. They know how to survive, right? They know how to survive this game of life. And as a species, we're drawn to that for survival reasons. If you go back, I love this. I love reverse engineering back where we are as a species now to the evolutionary benefit of it back when we were in the wild. everything we do as human beings is for evolutionary and survival purposes, right? When you see someone that's healthy and vital, you're attracted to that because that person has an increased chance of survival, and we want to survive as a species. So, the packaging of you as a person, right? Do your best to make sure that your healthy foods at work, that you always have a good bit of energy, that you get a big smile on your face, that you're showing that you're full of life. Because if you don't, subconsciously, your customer is sizing you up without even knowing it, and it's decreasing your chance of success. We want to be around healthy, vital people that fill us with energy and life because, it's in our DNA at our very. So be healthy, be vital, be full of energy. And if you do only that, even if you're new to the sales game, if you do only that, you're going to be much further ahead than somebody who's a crafty vet who has all the skills, has some talent, but isn't able to transfer that energy to their customers. You're going to be further ahead than them. All right, guys, we packed in a lot in about 25 minutes. Thank you so much for hopping on. As always, I'm extremely grateful for you and your commitment to mastery. 99.999999% of salespeople in the world are not actually training this morning, trying to get better at what they do day in and day out. We spend all of our time working in the game, very little of our time working on the game, but this is just our beginning together. It's just the beginning of our journey. Our next webinar, guys, the free ones to be determined. I'm thinking in another 3 to 4 weeks because we're really going to start these formal trainings with dealership, diving into the details as to how we can make each of your stores, particularly, excel at a higher level. So love to hop on a call with any of the general managers on this, any of the managers on this, to come up with a strategy and game plan that will work for your store in specific and particular. So stay tuned for our free webinars. I'm going to be sending you guys emails. You guys do get the emails. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the training tips. Don't forget, follow us on social media too, guys. Every day we're posting free sales training, so check us out. Early fall, right? We're getting there right now. Early fall, we got the formal training being launched. We got the Sales University being launched. That's going to be, just to start out, version 1.0, it's 50 plus video modules. So if you're new to car sales or new to sales or a crafty vet and you want to get better in one particular area, you could sit down, log into the university, and really get a little bit better day in and day out. Do it in your free time. I know we have plenty of it during the day. Do it in your free time. Commit yourself. I think the stat 18 minutes per day. If you commit 18 minutes per day honing your craft, you're ahead of 99% of every single person in your field. 18 minutes a day, that's all it takes. We're going to have some early bird opportunity, guys. I don't forget where I came from. I never will. I will never forget you guys for being on here in the very start. A year, 5, 10, 20 years from now, who knows where this thing's going to go? I won't forget about any of you. We're going to have some early bird opportunities for our early dealers that have been here supporting us. So thank you so much for that. Q&A, reach out. You have my email. Drop some questions in the chat. I can hop on here for hours and talk to you guys. And in our formal trainings, we are going to do that. I'll sit here all day. I don't care if it's 100 of us or just one of us. I can do this all day long. I live for this, and I'm excited to share any of the knowledge that I really spent a lot of time trying to learn with all of you that have that equal sense of passion. Thanks again. Drop your feedback for us. Charles, if you could. Charles is going to drop a feedback link, guys, a little bit of a survey. If you want to fill that out, that'll sign you up for the free sales training. And I'm going to send you an email to get your feedback as well. Stay tuned for our product launches. And once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a valued member of our community and a valued member of our Wolfpack. Thanks so much. Cool. No mud, no miracle. Sweat equity. Don't skip the steps. That's right. That's right. He's coming back in tomorrow. That's right, Joss. Good. Cool. Thanks, everybody, for being on. Pistol Pete, thank you. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, man. Lolo, hope you're feeling better, brother. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate everybody for being here. You got it, guys. Reach out if you need me. Thanks, guys.